Hey, thanks for clicking on one of our videos. If you're a Baylor fan, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to join us for a live stream soon. This is Please Bear With Me. Enjoy. That's the test of every quarterback, right? Is like going from year one to year two. Yes, there's another year of tape, but you also hope that elevation after being a starter for a full season now, man, you've got that, like, nothing is going to surprise, you would hope. Now, nothing is going to surprise Sawyer Robertson that a defense can throw it out there. Like, he's seen like a full year. I mean, I honestly think that bowl game too against LSU, I know that may not be fun to talk about from a Baylor result perspective, but he was one of the few Baylor players that played really well in that game. Like, Sawyer Robertson was not the reason Baylor lost that football game by any means. And so now it's not just that he's seen Big 12 defense. He's seen a really good SEC defense. Like, I don't think he's going to be shocked at all by anything Auburn can do in August against him. And so now it's the test. Like, how much do you elevate? Terrance was talking about it, and he is right. I gave him a hard time, but he is right. Like, you can't miss a deep ball throw if Ashton Hawkins has a step on the sideline. You can't miss. Like, you've got to hit it, right? Like, those are the little things, the little tweaks. But I think what Pete pointed out, Terrance, I'd be curious on your perspective. I think he's got the, like, mentality and work ethic to take that jump.
Well, I think we'll find out the first 30 minutes of the season. I mean, if he goes out there and he lights up Auburn and we go 250, 4 touchdowns, 50 yards on the ground. He didn't have to run. But if he lights up Auburn, a good defense, not a great defense in the SEC, but they see great quarterbacks week in and week out that can throw the ball. They're going to have some really good guys on the secondary that's going to be able to kind of handcuff our receivers, should be able to run with them beat for beat. And so me as a player, former player, and I'm coming into the season, and probably every other Big 12 coach is looking at, all right, what can Sawyer do? And you're going to know within 30 minutes of the season what he's been doing the whole offseason, how gelled the team really is, and if he can take it to the next step. I don't want to go and he throw 2-3 picks against Auburn and then we go on and we got the right guy. No, if the right guy, he needs to show up right now the next 10 practices and spring ball. I do think the intangibles are there. The team wants to follow him. They'll run through a brick wall for him, but they'll run through a freaking what's Wolverine's medal?
Adamantium.
They'll run through one of those walls if he lights Auburn up for 4 or 5 touchdowns this fall, and that's what we're going to need. If Baylor's going to be in the Big 12 contention or conversation, Sawyer Robertson has to be elite in almost every facet of the game. I don't care what his spider chart looks like, but he has to be elite with early down decision-making, and he's going to have to be elite when it comes to being in tough spots, using his legs, and being able to make guys open. And then another thing that we haven't talked about why LSU blew us off out of the water. Sawyer has to be great, but he's not going to be able to make up for a bad defensive secondary, and we must get that right at Baylor.
You're totally right. And I will just say to kind of wrap up the Sawyer conversation.
Well, I got one question for Terrance.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about his ability to run and move out of the pocket? Because we didn't see it at all his first year here because he was hurt. He was hobbled. Yeah. I was shocked at how well he does. And even the design runs, the draws once in a while right up the middle. But he's not dynamic running the football, but he's more than just enough.
Here, that was my next comment, and then I'll let Terrance finish it. My next comment that you came over was the charts that I liked the most were Russell, Bohannon, and Sawyer, because those 3 guys had in common on that chart were sack rate. Their sack rate was incredible. Like, there's a instinctiveness, I think, to those guys. It's not about athleticism as much, at least to me, for Sawyer. It's an instinctiveness. He has the clock in his head. He senses the pressure, and he knows just how to get out of it and get rid of the football.
Scouts and coaches talk about his pocket presence being unbelievable. So that speaks to that.
Go ahead, Terrance.
Yeah. Listen, I think the guy's a phenomenal runner. If he doesn't run like he ran last year, we don't go on a 6-game win streak. I mean, it was incredible for him. And he having a mobile quarterback kind of slows down the pass rush, which allowed our running game to get going the way they did. I mean, Washington, no one knew Washington would be a 1,000-yard rusher last year, especially the way we started off the season. Like, we couldn't, open a hole against anyone.
No.
And then when you have a quarterback that can run the ball, that pauses a defense, because giving up 5, 10, 6 yards to a quarterback is demoralizing when you've stopped the running back 3 or 4 times in a row. And then you open up a big play, and it allows him to have much more options in the pass game. When he's mobile, he's outside the pocket. You can't be right as a defensive back unless you just got really good coverage behind you. So I think he's a really great runner. He's not going to bust an 80-yard run and stiff arm people, spin. He's not that type of runner. But I liken him like Jalen Hurts, is that he has very calm feet in the pocket, because he knows he can escape the pocket. And then when he's a smart runner, so he doesn't take big hits. So as long as he can stay healthy, defensive secondary gets better, we have a chance. But for me personally, I'm looking for him to light up Auburn within the first 10 minutes. I don't give him 30 minutes. We need to get out of the gates really fast and have a great game in Waco. A great game against Auburn.